Annabelle fondled the soft blue sash between her fingers with a kind of complacency she'd never known before, except once in that instant before Tinsel had sent her that jarring shock with her wand. That had been an enchantment, and Annabelle didn't think a dress could be spelled. But then again, she wasn't sure. At last, Tinsel returned, nodded approval to the tailor, and escorted Annabelle to a tall, narrow door which opened into something like a pantry or a supply closet. The doors swung wide on their golden hinges, and fairy bells chimed. The fantastical glow of pixie dust shone from within crystalline vials, momentarily blinding Annabelle's eyes. Her hunger almost vanished at the sight of it, and she gasped. "It's a magic supply closet."
What?
A deep voice, like the shifting of gravel, answered from inside the cupboard. A moment later, a small, leathery gray creature popped out. Two-headed, both its mouths began yammering away at once.
This is the portal of Pandora, the keep of the sages, wizards, and monarchs.
The other head snorted.
Oh, all is explained. It would be a child of man. Send her away, Tinsel, and shut the door behind you.
Tinsel scowled at Annabelle and rolled her eyes. "You've insulted the portal of Pandora," she elbowed Annabelle. "Go on, apologize." "Oh," Annabelle pulled herself together. "Beg your pardon. I'm sorry." Tinsel sniffed. "Not like that. Can't you do anything properly? Try again." Annabelle tried again. "I'm abjectly, dismally, feverishly," Tinsel put in. "I'm abjectly, dismally, feverishly so." "Pathetically," Tinsel added. "Right, okay. I'm abjectly, dismally, feverishly, pathetically sorry, Mr. Lord," said Tinsel. "Lord Polygon," Annabelle finished. Her face flushed red to her ears. "Can you forgive my mistake? I had no idea."
Forgiveness is going a bit too far.
The second mouth interrupted the first.
We'll overlook it.
Tinsel breathed. "Lord Polygon, we have to outfit a new one."
What happened to the last?
"Shh," hissed Tinsel. "Miss Alvina Appleblossom our newest recruit, and we must get her ready for her mission." Tinsel pulled a long piece of parchment seemingly out of thin air. Annabelle craned her eyes to see what was written on it. But Tinsel snatched it back and tendered it to the Polygoblin. Lord Polygob scanned the list hastily.
All right. Okay, let's see.
A pair of rough brown hands covered in gray scales with long jagged fingernails began rummaging through the cubby, which was not a closet. Polygon pulled out a white apron, dangled it before Annabelle, who scowled at it. But Tinsel scowled at her until she finally put it on. Next came a book. "Bedtime Stories for Boys." "That, Miss Appleblossom, is the most dangerous item in your luggage." Annabelle sniffed at the volume. It didn't smell like poison. "Never underestimate the power of a good story. The lost boys get homesick for the mothers at bedtime. Use it well, and you shall succeed where many have failed." Annabelle swallowed the lump in her throat and pushed the small volume into her apron pocket. How many agents failed? No more questions. Gauze? First aid. You can't imagine what kind of scrapes the lost boys get into. Literal and figurative. You'll need this and plenty of it. The sewing kits for mending, soap for scrubbing, and let's see. Annabelle glanced longingly at the pixie dust. "Don't worry, you'll have some of that too." But when Annabelle reached up, it was only a tiny pouch, which could hardly contain more than a thimbleful. "It will raise suspicion if you carry too much," said Tinsel. "How shall I explain having any pixie dust at all? In the first place, keep it hidden. In the second, invent something. What kind of spy can't make up something as simple as that?" Annabelle straightened her apron. "I'm an agent of the potentate, not a spy. I'm forbidden to make up a story. At least, not very much fun." Tinsel sniffed. "Well, don't say anything stupid." She reached back up to Lord Polygolf. "This is your map of Never. Destroy it when you arrive." "Destroy it?" "Eat it." It was all too easy to imagine eating the map. For some reason, it smelled like shortbread cookie, and Annabelle was so hungry that the mere suggestion made her mouth water. Now off you go. The sun is setting and night is good screening for spies. Annabelle hesitated. Is that really everything? Tinsel smirked. Of course it's everything. Who do you think you are? It's just that it was an awfully long list to have so few items on it. Tinsel glanced again at the list and then gave a little nod to Lord Pollyglove. Oh, look at that, Tinsel said, sounding rather surprised. Good catch. There is one last item, though I doubt you'll get much good from it. Tinsel's hand stretched forward and Annabelle reached out to accept a cold, hard object. Don't even know why we issue the broken things. Most can't get it to work. It's just extra baggage to weigh you down. Annabelle glanced down at the tiny golden ornament. It didn't seem like such a little thing could weigh her down much. She dropped it inside her apron pocket. Well, if the potentate wants me to have it, I'll just take it with me anyway. Tinsel shrugged and sniffed. Fine, fine. Let's get on with it. Tinsel sprinkled a tiny spray of pixie dust upon her head. Annabelle flew out of the window, into the court, and high up above the battlements. A familiar cooing sound caught her attention as she floated up on a strong gale westward to Never. She glanced back toward the tree towers of the White Castle. Then she gasped. Hundreds of pigeons perched on the castle battlements in neat little rows. A pixie flitted about, shooing, trying to scatter them, but she seemed to have little luck driving the pigeons off. Annabelle smiled and chuckled to herself. Vinegar water, Tinsel, and it will take you all morning to get those battlements cleaned.